We'd like to call the meeting to order of the work session. The first item is JFR Architects. Are they here? Okay. You're going to walk us through, I don't know what they're doing. Walk us through the security plan.
Yeah, Madam Chair, so this is just an update from JFR Architects. We've sort of been there's been a couple communications back and forth about just asking for a status update. So this should serve as that. I did hand out like 4 papers to everyone that we just got early today from JFR. And if anyone else in the audience wants another copy, I'd be happy to get those for you. And so we could do a couple of things. I know that James, I think, has a presentation. We could do a physical walkthrough, which I think would be good, but I also want to be sensitive to, everyone's comfortability and ability to do that. And just to also mention that State Representative former trustee Jimmy Wilson Jr. has been, he's on the Judiciary Committee who's hoping to secure funding in some type of way. Just before the meeting, I was sort of mentioning to Brendan and Stan the idea of possibly doing like a resolution from our board just to take as an exhibit and show of we need to move this forward. Just, I don't know if that would help the committee or not, more of a broad spitball idea. So James is here, and then other than that, Stan is sort of the lead on this project. I just helped bring us all here today. So whoever wants to take it.
Go ahead, James.
Good afternoon. My name is James Renaud, JFR Architects. This is David Gaston with Partners in Architecture.
Good evening, everybody.
So we're kind of coming back here since we were here last June. I think it was the end of June, a workshop where we presented what we had done through the study from the Michigan court recommendation letters that were done from a few years before that. I know that was a workshop that we went through. We presented everything. And the idea today is maybe to walk through some of the spaces in the court building and some of the areas of recommended improvements. So if everybody's willing or interested, we could start the tour. Our thought was to start the tour in the back judge's corridor, come through the courtroom, come out into the lobby where the public lobby is, and then just kind of work our way back to the main doors here, if that's okay. And we could show a few of the highlight items that were presented in the report from last summer. If there's any questions ahead of time, we can take them, or we can take them as we walk through.
That was kind of the plan from our meeting. It's easy for us, Heather and I, and for James and David to sit here and give you the information. I think you need to see some of the constraints right now that the court's facing as far as spacing, security, some of the structural problems that are occurring on the other side of the building where there's a deviation in heights of the floors. Some of the pillars are beginning to erode. I know you've heard and seen the emails recently about the IT office in the back. There's a support beam that's...
Yeah, there's a column. So that room, the IT office, has raised floor for the computer technology underneath it. Apparently over the last 10, 20 years, you guys have had water damage in there. There's an exterior column in that room that's completely rusted away. It is no longer connected to the foundation. I think that's, there's other things that have been done to, help keep that room functioning. There's corrosion in the raised floor. The conduits have all been corroded. So part of the plans is, of that IT room back there is to fix those things. And then, as we go through the quick walkthrough tour, we can show you some of the conflicts with the court actual function.
So again, to make this open, because it is a work session, we're not in any areas that are going to be secure or problematic, so the public is welcome to join along with us. They can choose to sit here. It should only take 10 to 15 minutes to walk through and give you the highlights of it. You'll notice one of the sheets that the clerk passed out, depending on the level that we go to, should we even go there on this security process, this boardroom that we sit in currently would not look the way it does today. because there could be such a percentage of change in construction, depending on what this board decides they want to do, would mandate that this room be changed, because we would meet a threshold to then conform it to current ADA standards, which it does not as of today. So if there's no objection, we just would like James to be able to lead us through about 10 or 15 minutes to show you some of the highlights. The judge is here along with the magistrate to answer any questions in their area. Again, I think, and they can confirm, we may be the only current court that does not have a security system in place in Michigan. Or one of, Mark, is that close?
Yeah, good evening. This is Mark Nelson, Magistrate, 14B District Court. Yeah, one of few. Certainly in Washtenaw County, we'd be, us and Chelsea would be the only courts without any physical screening at the front door for weapons. Chelsea's constricted by architecture of their building. They have a building that was built, it was originally a bank building built in, I think, in the 1800s, and they physically can't fit screening into that space. Consequently, they're considering moving that facility to a different facility. They're expanding Saline and that's possibly part of that. So, but they do have other security measures that we don't have here. So, but yeah, it is a fair statement to certainly say that we're one of very few that don't have any sort of screening at all.
And as the clerk mentioned, the magistrate and I met with now State Representative Wilson roughly a month ago or more, who now sits in the House Judiciary, and magistrate's going to be going up to Lansing here soon, and we're trying to find appropriations there, but whether that comes to fruition or not, we don't know. But again, we just thought it was important as a group, the working group on this, that the full board have the opportunity to see some of the things that we're discussing in a room like this. So if there's no objections to it or any questions, I'll let James take it.
Thank you, Trustees Eldridge. The only concern, one of the concerns I had was what you started to address. So if we go on this tour publicly, there won't be any kind of breach of information regarding security, because both your IT departments and the court areas, there are areas where if you're talking about security, you don't necessarily want everybody to know what kind of measures you're taking. So I don't want to do anything that would jeopardize those types of issues. So what I hear Trustee Eldridge saying is that that's not going to cause.
No, we all are aware of the issues with our IT office, which is in a secure area. I don't think there's a need to go back there. It's mainly just we can walk right out the front here, move to the left right into the court lobby, and they can kind of direct it from there. Move back into our lobby, show you some things here that we would like to do, and then we can come right back in. That should be suffice for 10 or 15 minutes. We don't need to go into the lockup areas or anywhere that's secure. So, and that way the public's allowed to go and they can hear and listen. And
Right, we could just, pop into the courtroom, go out to that main lobby out there.
correct, right. So yeah, unless there's an objection, we can let James lead it. We can go right through the doors behind us. The public's welcome to join us and listen for 10 or 15 minutes, and we can reconvene in here when we're done. And we can ask questions on the tour or bring them back here, or do both.
Okay.
Trustee Eldridge, if we just could ask there be no recording in the court portion as we go through the tour? Nobody recording on their devices? Yeah. But that's fine for the public to come along.
Yeah, I've already been on the tour, so I'm going to stay here. I've already seen, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've been on it. Yeah, so I probably will come up there.
At 5:09, the board members took a tour of 14 Court.